Alright, what up YouTube? It's Plock the Master Gamer here, and I've got a really shitty voice because I'm sick right now, but we're back at it with some Fable Anniversary actually, not Fable the Lost Chapters, but Fable Anniversary. And in this video, we're actually going to be covering a trading exploit that one of my subscribers actually told me about, which I had no clue about, and I believe it only works for Anniversary Edition just because of the way that, I guess I don't want to, what's the GUI, the graphical user interface, the way that the GUI is set up, it allows a pretty interesting exploit. Now on top of this being an exploit for Fable Anniversary, for anybody who's familiar with Fable Anniversary on the PC at least, you have the option of heroic mode and chicken mode. Now the major difference between these two modes is that the heroic mode, it changes a lot of things in terms of like damage received, damage given, what kind of items traders have in stock and how much they cost, and also your ability to do the normal trading exploit, which is, you would have a bunch of a certain item. You'd usually start with something like green apples, so you would start with a bunch of green apples and you would get a whole bunch of these. So by the time you're selling them to the trader, he'll have all of your stock, which, let's call it 48 for now, and he'll be selling them for a cost of 1 because he has such a large stock of them. You buy them all 48 for the cost of 1. Now normally if this was chicken mode or Fable the Lost Chapters or any normal version of the game, this glitch would work, or this exploit would work, but because it's heroic mode, when you go to sell the stuff back, you don't actually make a profit. It still sells for 1. If this was the normal version of the game, the cost of this would probably be 2 or 3. You'd be making at least like 2 gold profit off of each apple. But because of the way heroic mode is designed, it does not allow you to do this traditional, trading exploit, at least not until much later on in the game when you have a really high Gaia level and a shitload of items. With all of that preface being said, there is another secret way of making money, at least in this version of the game, that I had no fucking clue about. And it's all thanks to one of my subscribers, cannot remember his name, but I'll post his comment here. He gave me this idea, and it's actually pretty fucking clever. So the way that the trade menu is set up in Fable Anniversary, you have these tabs here, right? And then you have the items here. And then you of course have these tabs as well up here, but those don't really matter right now. So in the sell tab, you click an item, you have sell, sell 10, sell all 48, right? And that's something that you share for every item, right? And if you go over to this tab, you have, sell, sell, sell. Of course, I only have one of each of these items, so you're only going to see the sell option. But what is very interesting is that if you have this little sell window open and you move over to another tab, it stays up. Now you would think that like, oh, that's just like a visual glitch, like it shouldn't mean much. Like you would think that this button would always be linked to this item, but that's not the case. This button is linked to whatever item it is next to. So let's say you go to the apples and you have 48 of them and you open up this window, right? It says sell all 48. Well, if you go over to your items here, your gifts, you have your emeralds, your rubies, your sapphires, your jet, you see this window still here and it's next to emeralds. So that means whatever you click here, it is going to do that to that item. So if I click sell all 48, it will indeed sell 48 of these emeralds. Now watch my money. I have 13,111 gold. I have a single emerald. Now let's see what happens. Actually, does it show how much he has in stock? He has 50 in stock. Oh no, I fucked up. What did I do? God, I keep doing this. Like, I keep fucking shit up on accident. Dude only has 50 in stock. That's because I've already done this once before. But he has 50 in stock right now. You'll see that number go up as well. Of course, you've seen this number go down because I've fucked up again. But we're going to go to the apples one more time. And we're going to bring up this window and we're going to go back over to the gifts. And when we hit sell all 48, we're actually going to sell 48 emeralds. So you'll see I made quite a bit of money there. And the emerald's gone. But if we go back to the emeralds, you'll notice that he now has 98 of them. Now, of course, the amount of money didn't actually go up that much because he, of course, has a shitload of them in his inventory, so, it's not really going to mean much to him. However, if we get, something that we haven't sold him yet, like a jet. So let's just sell these to get them out of the way because it only works with whatever item's on the top. You can't really like scroll down and change it. I mean, whatever item's on the top, that's what you end up selling. So that's kind of a good thing to remember here. We're going to go back to our apples and we're going to bring that up. It's going to say sell all 48 and we're going to go back over here and we're going to sell all of our jets. And boom, look at that. We got 29K and all of a sudden Home Dude's got a bunch of jets. He's got 48 jets. So let's just buy one of these. Ooh, we can actually do it with sapphire too. I didn't realize that. Do that. We'll do that real quick, actually, before we do any of this shit. Here's sapphires. Sell all 48. Boom, we got 43K. Good shit. And that's all good. Of course, you want to make sure you at least have, like, one of all these again. So what do we got? We have a jet. We have a no sapphire. We got to get one more of those. But You may be wondering, does this work both ways? We can do this with selling. Can we do it with buying? You may be wondering, why would you even want to do this with buying? Well, because, you know, people have limited stocks of items, so it could potentially be useful just for the sake of being able to buy multiples of items at once. Now, this is useful for various reasons, but the main reason why it's useful is because in heroic mode, the amount of supply that traders have is very, very, very diminished. All right, so here we are at the Heroes Guild. We're at this trader now, and if we look at what he has to sell and we go to his potions, you will see that he sells 2 health potions for 98 gold each. Oh, no, I already own 98. He sells 2 health potions for 305 gold each. If you're not familiar with normal Fable prices, this is extremely high. They're like 80 gold in normal Fable. Will potions, 271 fucking gold. They're like 60 gold in normal Fable. So as you can see here, not only are there basically no fucking potions in the game, but they're really fucking expensive. So you're at a very huge disadvantage when you're playing heroic mode. And, you know, of course, none of the exploits that would normally put you at an advantage fucking work, except for this one. So what we're going to do here, of course, he doesn't have any large amounts of items to buy because they just never do, because that's just kind of part of the heroic mode. You're not going to find them with a bunch of apples already. So what you have to do is actually sell a bunch of your items to him. Green apples just happen to be the thing I have the most of, so we're using those as an example. We're going to sell all 51 of them to him just so that he has 51 of an item in stock. Now that he has 51 of an item in stock, what we can do is click this. Of course, that little drop down menu appears once again, and we go over to the potions tab, and that menu has stayed up now. As you can see here, we can buy a maximum of 51 health potions, even though there's only 2 available. Now, sadly, of course, we are buying them for 305 gold each, so we are getting kind of fucking ripped off here. But we are getting the potions, and that is kind of what matters to me. And of course, we can do that again with the green apples, bring down that drop down menu, and we hit the will potions, and we can buy a bunch of will potions. And somehow we ended up at exactly 13,111, which I don't know how the fuck Illuminati shit that worked out, but it did. And yeah, now we got a pretty fucking fresh supply of potions. As you can see here, I have over 100 of each potion, which is, for heroic mode, a really fucking good thing, because motherfuckers do a shitload of damage. It's all crazy. Like, it's good that I'm able to do this now. And once again, for anybody who's familiar with my Fable series that I'm doing, I did actually kind of discover this in the midst of my Fable series, and this is actually the character that I am using from that series. So just for anybody who is watching that series and watching this video, no, I'm not going to save this save file because I have made progress without, you know, recording for the official video. So I mean, you know, that's kind of irrelevant to this video, but I just want you guys to know that this is not being saved onto this save file because this is, you know, kind of an important one for that video series. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something, because I definitely did. I didn't know about this at all until now, so it's kind of cool to know about this. So yeah, make sure you leave a like if you did enjoy it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to see any more of this content or any of my other gaming content for that matter. And as always, make sure you're leaving suggestions down in the comments below. If you leave a suggestion down in the comments, I'll definitely take that suggestion, I'll make it into a video, and then I'll take your comment and I'll give you a little bit of a shout out too, so that's always fun. But yeah, with that being said, this has been Plock the Master Gamer with some Fable Anniversary exploits, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.